guys, Flabaliki here today, and welcome to Theme Park Studio. This actually comes out on the 27th of February, but I've been given an early access just to sort of make a video of it for you guys, and I thought I would show you around. Before we sort of jump into it, keep in mind this is actually going to be an early access release on Steam, so it's very much an alpha. In fact, I believe the version is like version 0.03. So let's keep that in mind as we're sort of looking around. It's very early, but it's still awesome nonetheless. So I've actually loaded up one of the pre-built parks because there are a few to sort of take a look at. Well, actually, I think there's a couple. I think there's like two of them just there to have a look at to start off with. There might be more when they release it, but as of the build I have now, that's what there is, and that's what we're going to look at and see what there is. And then we're going to try and do our own stuff. Now, keep in mind, I am not an expert at this game just yet. It's a very advanced sort of piece of kit, and I am still learning it. But when the day comes, I'm sure I'll be able to do something just like this. So, this is kind of the entrance of the park. So if we just come through here, you can see this is like where the entrance is going to be. Now, in the early access, there are no people yet that walk through the park. Not just yet, anyways. That will be coming down the line. And also, unfortunately, there's no roller coasters yet, which is a bit of a shame. It's all grayed out. But again, it is early access, and they are coming. There's still there's still a lot of stuff to do just at the moment. But if you're thinking about buying it now, just keep in mind that there aren't coasters yet and there aren't people yet. It's not in the game yet. They are coming. But having said that, there's no official plan to add in any sort of money element or like sort of there's no sort of manager aspect of the game yet. So you wouldn't have to set park prices or ride prices. None of that is planned for the game. However, I believe if they get enough support and like obviously there's enough interest in the game, I think that they would be more than willing to sort of embark on that and actually add it into the game. But that's sort of an afterthought, and that's something that they haven't officially planned for. The official sort of roadmap for the game is to make it just a theme park sandbox game. So you just build whatever you want whenever you want. It's kind of, I guess it'd be kind of like somewhat like sandbox mode on Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but more free. You can literally do whatever you want in this. And I'll show you some of that when we get into it. But just keep in mind that there is no plan for any money management in the game. However, I believe, like I'm saying this, I think this is what they told me, that they would do it if there's enough support and there's obviously a big enough backing behind the game and that kind of stuff. And also just keep in mind, this is early access, so we may encounter a few little niggles here and there. But anyways, so this is like the little entrance of the park. Got a little ad for Hyperrails, one of the games that they previously made. And I didn't actually know that, to be honest, because when I was much younger, I did actually pick up that game. I remember enjoying it. But yeah, there you go. I didn't know that, but now I do. Yeah, so we kind of come through here into the entrance of the park, got all these flowers, and these are all kind of like little objects everywhere. I would not like to unbolt that, sorry about that. If I can click on something else, there we are. No, I would not like to unbolt it. Basically, by the way, bolting is something that you do in this game that prevents you accidentally moving things around, because at the current point in time, there's no undo function either, but I can't wait till they add that in, because the amount of times I've made mistakes, I'm like, no! Anyways, so we're just going to tour around this park first. No, I would not like to unbolt that, thank you. We're going to tour around this park first and just have a look. So we're going to go around this way. Oh, look at that. Little benches around the park and a little bin. That's nice. Little lights as well. You'll notice they actually emit light. Oh, it is actually nighttime, but it's a bit bright. So what we're going to do, because the default lighting in this certain park is a little too bright for my liking. What am I looking for? Lighting. Wait, it's on one of these probably. Let's open up this. Basically, this is the kind of amount of customization you can get. So you can choose this sort of, I'm pretty sure later on there will be like a dynamic lighting. So you'll have time of day and it will progress. But at the moment, it's just certain different skyboxes. And you can change all the settings of them. So obviously we've got a daytime one now. And you could add whatever you want in there. You could do like some alien planet, really. But let's make it nighttime again, because you can see all the lights, which are really cool. And then you can also change all the sort of diffuse lighting and how bright you want it to be. So if we make that black, I'll make it a bit darker. And then we can make the ambient lighting not quite black, but let me actually bring that in window so you can see. Probably about that. That's a bit nicer. Now it's a bit more ambient and looks a bit nicer. That's one other thing I should note, actually. Pretty much every menu in this game you can move wherever the hell you want. So like this menu on the side doesn't even need to be there. You can put it on the other side if you want. Just check it over there. Or you can put it up the top, have it horizontal. Can I put it down the bottom? No, but I can put it at the side. And then all these windows as well, you can drag them around. You can see all the snap points here and there, so you can chuck it up the top. You can chuck it on the side, right there. Basically, so it's just a completely customizable UI, which is a really nice thing. And I've seen a few more games doing that lately, actually, having sort of customizable UI elements, because it really is a nice thing to see when you can sort of change it however you want. Got a little bit of water down there. Anyway, let's continue through the park. I will not keep you waiting any longer. It's just a little bit more ambient now, and it looks a bit nicer and warmer. So you got the lights by the entrance there. Just a little light there. It's you can't actually see the light, unfortunately. So we come down here. Got a couple of little shops here. The Gina Bakery. There you go. Look at that. It's quite nice, actually. And we got the Burger Town joint. Oh, it's beautiful. That looks delicious. I could go for a burger right about now. The Fun Zone Arcade. Oh, this would be pretty cool, I guess. When it's a bit blank in the back. Be pretty cool when they actually add in people into the game and you see them walking around. It'd be pretty cool because they've shown them in a few like trailers here and there. But obviously the people aren't finished, and they'll probably just pre-scripted or something to walk around. Bit of a Ferris wheel up there. That's nice. And you got a big castle in the back, but we'll go look at that shortly. Which way to go? It's a very symmetrical park, so it's hard to know where to go. Let's go this way because we got this sort of ride thing over here, whatever you want to call it. Little scenery house. I need to get a little bit higher so we can actually see stuff. There we are. So we got this little flat ride over here, and there appear to be boxes in the seat at the current point in time. Later on, those will be people, for sure. So yeah, very much at the point the game is now. So version 0.03, sorry, is very much still a sort of designing tool, and yeah, but there's still lots to do, and it's pretty cool. We've got another little flat ride over here, which is pretty damn awesome. So if we go around the back, we got a weird sort of barn ride in here. Oh, one of those rides, kind of like a Thunderbobs ride, I guess, that you see around parks and that. Pretty cool, pretty cool. We got the castle around the back. Oh, look at that. It's looking nice. Nothing inside though, unfortunately. This is just one of the, I believe that's just one of the pre-built scenery items. So the cool thing with this game is it supports like custom scenery very easily. It's just, you basically make a 3D model and then import it into the game and you're good to go. And I think they're improving that all the time because it used to require you using a certain format of texture, but now it's not. And then, I don't know, they're changing it all the time and making it easier for everyone, which is awesome. Little sort of launched ride there, which is pretty cool. So this is kind of like the park here that we're looking at. You can see there's a lot more space to actually build with. It goes up to like that border there at the moment. But yeah, that's a little park there. So I think what we'll do, we'll go ahead and start up a new park. And we'll go, no, I don't want to save my changes. And I would like to level the terrain, please. I would like to start on a blank sort of plot. And we'll see where we get to. I'll just show you what you can do at the moment, basically, and what's available. And I'll tell you what I more or less believe is planned to happen. So here we are. It just started up a new one. Oh, beautiful mountains around the outside there. Basically, when you start a park, you start off with these little things here. Two little entrance sort of areas. And the first thing you're probably going to want to do is either terraform or do a pathway. So what we're going to terraform first. It's this second button here. And we get, it says flat rides, but it is not flat rides. Yes, that is quite evident that it is an alpha. Incorrect text, but anyways, that don't really matter. So basically, the way terraforming works is you have different brushes. Now, some of these brushes are going to be for the whole map. So like this one here is like a whole map brush. So it's like a pre-made terrain, basically. So if we sort of click and hold, you'll see the terrain pop up. And if we sort of escape out of that, you can see that's the terrain we get there. And you'll also notice that it automatically paints all the terrains are where it should be. And you can customize all of the textures, I believe. So all this stuff in here, I believe, is what does it. But I haven't exactly delved too far into all of this because it is fairly in depth. But I mean, if you don't want to change that, you don't have to, which is brilliant because that's the brilliant thing about it. They've made sure to do plenty of presets in the. Oh, I did not want to rotate that. I wanted to scale it up. They've made plenty of preset. Oh god, don't flatten up. Oh, I probably should have used a flatten. Oh, jeez. Where the undo function would come in handy later down the line. So let's flatten down to that sort of area. Yeah, they've made plenty of presets for most of the elements in the game at the moment. So there's like preset scenery, preset parks, preset pathways, preset terrains, all that. So in case you do not know what you're doing at the beginning, you can sort of figure that out yourself. So there we are. We're back to a flat terrain. And oh yeah, so I'll tell you about some of the controls because you'll notice I was rotating it around and all that. If you hold down the Alt key and click, it should rotate it like that. So you'll see it. It's not rotating more. Anyways, hang on. I think it was a bad view. Yeah, there we are. So holding down the Alt key and dragging will rotate it. Oh, up and down would be the way to go. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this just yet. So it rotates it around you want. If you hold down Control and click, it will scale it. So you can make it really small. So if I make it like really small, you can make a nice little small terrain here. There you go. Not quite sure why you want to do that, but that's what you can do. So let's just level that back down and bring it down. So yeah, so Alt is pretty much your go-to rotate key that will rotate all objects in the game, not just terrain sort of editing tools. So let's just pick a landscape. The first one is actually pretty good though. I do like the first one. It's a good one to sort of start with. By default takes up the whole park. So if we just sort of click and hold, we'll get a nice little border to the park area. So we'll do that. And we're going to add some water in the bottom button here. So we're going to enable our water. And oh, it's already at the right height. So that's fine. So now we've got the little water area in there, which is quite cool. And now we can sort of do what we want, really. So if we just close that away and let's just zoom in real quick. And let's do a pathway. So our pathway is this button here. Again, it says flat rise for some reason. I never actually noticed that. I have been using this a fair bit, but I guess I've never actually read that text. And maybe that's the current build because it was actually updated today. So maybe that's a current bug. Speaking of bug, if you do get this game or you already have sort of bought early access, then they are, I presume they'll post about it, but they have opened up, well, they are going to open up a public bug reporting sort of website where you can go there if you find any bugs. For example, the text is wrong. You can go there and say, you report the bug there and say, oh, this shouldn't be this, blah, blah, blah. I believe also on their official forums on their website, they're going to have like a suggestions and feedback thing. So if you think that this is wrong and it should be like this, then you can sort of go give your ideas. Or if you have any sort of features that you would like in the game, you can go tell them that as well. They're very much, from what I've had the chance speaking to them, they're very much open to sort of feedback and community input, especially that's what they really want to hear. They want to know what you guys want, and they're doing their best to sort of achieve that. So we start off with, this is our path library, by the way, while I was talking about that. So we go in here, we got path library. You can also just build a path from scratch, but we'll have a look at some of the presets. So these are all the preset pathways we start off with. If I could click on that. There we are. They don't actually have proper thumbnails yet, so at the moment you kind of have to look and see what they say. So basic path, if we whip that out, is just a basic path. That's all it is. So you'll notice everything's kind of like objects in this, and you also notice that it's kind of snapping to the grid at the moment, which can actually be very handy. But if you don't want to snap to grid, you can just turn that off and it will just sort of go wherever the hell you want. So we pretty much wanted to join it up to that. If you overlap things, one thing that I did notice in this is very cool because in a lot of games, if they allow you to overlap things, for example, like I play The Sims 3 a lot, and if you overlap objects, they have the really, really glitchy textures, but this doesn't do it, which is really nice. It sort of fixes a sort of glitchy, I don't know what they've done, but it doesn't glitch the texture at all, which is really nice. So anyways, if we put our pathway there, oh, actually, I probably should have shown you a better way to do it. Hang on, let me just delete that weird pathway there. There we are. All right, so if we go basic pathway, bring it out. So we got this sort of free, sort of flowing position placing kind of thing. If we hold down the control button, it kind of snaps to the edge of this pathway here. I don't know if it's going to allow me to snap to the front of it, though. If I rotate it like that. No, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't work on that one. But one of the bugs. It will work better in a minute. If I again, holding down the Alt key will allow you to rotate. If you Alt and click, it will allow you to sort of like free rotate. If I could get it to work, maybe not. Maybe it's just objects. I don't know. You can rotate it after you place it though. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this just yet. Anyway, so we're going to place our pathway there. Let's just do a little bit of building. So we can rotate it there and put pathway there. Let's just do a nice little sort of curving pathway. Let's go up to there. All right, let's do that. Escape out of that. And if we click on these points now, and we can do our rotate button, I believe. Hang on. Oh, geez. Let's go down here. There we are. Hang on. Go sort of a bit smoother, really, is what I'm trying to go for there. A bit like that. A bit more of a sweeping bend. That's a bit nicer. Right, and now if I show you what I was trying to show you with a snapping pathway. So we go, oh, hang on. Getting beeps because I was clicked on the wrong thing. Right, so now we get this pathway, and say we wanted to connect it off the side here. If we hold down Control, you'll notice that it automatically sort of snaps to the edge of this, which is super helpful, especially in a game where you can place anything anywhere. Having the ability to snap it to the side is fantastic. So we can just sort of chuck it on there and say we wanted another pathway coming up. Oh, hang on. About there. So let's just say we have a pathway like that, and now it sort of joins in quite nicely without a problem. Got a nice little fork pathway. One of the really cool things about this, though, which I think is awesome, one of my favorite things anyways, if we click on the pathway and we go into one of these options somewhere, auto-generated objects, and we can add in, actually I want to add in a pathway first. Where's my pathway? Is that in, hang on, close out the path library, build path? No, not, it's one of these. Is it that one? Nope, that's just path structure, that's that. Oh, here we go, this is the one I want, I think. Right, let me click on that pathway, and we're going to go, there we are, look at that, you can get sort of sidewalks automatically put in, beautiful. I'm going to use the default size just so I don't have to sort of mess around with it. So we're just going to click on there. Actually, we will have to do a little bit of changing around here, because at the moment, obviously, they don't join up. So what you'd have to do, in this case, is select our move tool. What we really want to do is bring... yes, I would like to unbolt the pathway. I'll talk about bolting a little bit later, actually. I might, I wonder if I can just delete this segment of the path like that, it'd be easier. So if we bring that there, I don't know the best way to do this. Let's go build path. I don't want footpath on this one, though. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. All right, so if we do like this, well, really, we just want a tiny little section of it, to be honest. So if we just put it there, and we'll sort of finesse it around. So this is kind of like how it works. And I guess this is a good way to sort of show you. Oh, whoa! I didn't even know you could rotate it like that. Jesus, that's I didn't know you could rotate it that way, and I didn't mean to. Oh! Now I've killed everybody. Didn't know you could do that, and I didn't mean to do that either. Right. Yes. So, like I said, you can do anything you want. Let's just sort of try and use this little bit here. And now what we're going to do is select that bit there, hold down Control, and try, if we snap it into place there-ish, sort of cut them together. Actually, if we put it there, it might work a little bit better. Doing like that. And rotate it that way a bit. Get it about there. That's all right. That's all right. I do want to, hang on, if we go back straight, I kind of want to adjust that section there. Yeah, you beauty. Excuse me. All right, now we build our pathway. We put that back on. Aha. Now we're cooking. That's what I'm talking about. All right. We do have a little bit there, but that's all right. We'll ignore that. So yeah, we kind of got this pathway, an automatic pathway, and you can make the road wider dynamically, which is awesome. Unfortunately, there's no undo, so I mean, remember where it was. And 10 is our sort of path or sidewalk. I don't know, pathway, whatever you want to call it. So you could do a big one like that, and then the idea is that you'd put buildings on top of the sort of sidewalk there. But if we chuck it back down to 10 real quick, there we are, and put away that. Excuse me. Open up our path objects button, which is this one here, and have a look in here. This is really cool. Watch this. So if we grab out Ginkgo biloba, I don't know how to say it, to be honest, but there we go. Look at this. It automatically places it along the pathway with which is awesome. I don't know. I just find that like so awesome that you don't have to like mess around placing a million objects trying to get it to work. Where do I find? Oh, here we go. Benches. So you can automatically place like benches along the pathway. Not quite sure how we're supposed to do this properly. You can do random scale as well. Random scaled benches. I don't think so. Hang on, if we go, let's see. Right, what does that do? Center. I don't want it in the center. Left is good, but how do I rotate them? I have no idea. I select one of them and it rotates all of them. Nope, that's rotating the pathway. I don't know about that bit, but like I said, not an expert, but I think that's pretty cool. You can put like popcorn stands on there too. So if we go, excuse me, popcorn stand kind of like in the center. We go distance sort of, oh no, keep the distance up. We don't want them, we don't need that many popcorn stands. Let's go 200 on our popcorn stands. So we only have one lonely popcorn stand. That's all right though. We'll get a few more. I think there it is. So we'll have 2 popcorn stands there. Separation. That's sort of we want it back in the center really at 0. So you can walk along, get all your popcorn, away you go. Beautiful. Anyways, there are also preset pathways. So if we go into our path libraries, so this is like path with sidewalk, path with fence. So if we open up this one, you can see, sorry about that. You can see it has a little fence on it, which you can use, and you can just start building with that and go away. Off you go. And then if we sort of escape out of that, delete that pathway, don't want that. And what else have we got in here? This fence with and something. Oh, okay, so it's got sidewalk and a fence. So you could use this, and then you could put trees all along it, make it look awesome. Anyways, so it's pretty cool. And this is just early days. I don't want that there. Go away. Yes, thanks. Oh, right, okay, so we've had a look at the pathways and what you can do. I mean, and I don't really know how to fix the benches, but yeah, you get the idea. So let's have a look at some of the sort of scenery items. So if we have a look in here, so we go like on the side here it says architectural, then you have like different sort of sets. I believe, yeah, the other ones are blank at the moment, but this is like the first set. So basically, I think the idea is that the different like sets are sort of matching items that all go with each other. So I guess there'd be different themes later on. So maybe this would be generic. Then you'd have like Western and sci-fi. That kind. I think that's the idea that they're going for there. At least that's what I assume. A little bathroom. So if we bring this out. So yeah, like I said before, holding down the control key snaps the items sort of to the pathway. Now it does snap them to where the pathway is, not the sidewalk. So if you wanted to use this to sort of snap on, that's why I was doing before. I was sort of making the sidewalk much larger, so that we could place like shops and stuff on it. So you do that. Of course, you don't have to do that, but that's just what I do because it's easier and it looks nicer. So if we get our bathroom now and sort of snap it on there, you get a little toilet block just there on the side of our sort of pathway, so people can go in, go to the toilet, away you go. Beautiful. Done and done. Sweets and treats. Ooh, how big is this? Not too big. It's all right. We get all these little shops out really. So let's just start placing them along the pathway. Yeah, holding down the controls snap is so much easier. Otherwise, you have to manually sort of put everything into place, and it is a nightmare. So you can sort of put them like right close to each other. They actually are intersecting, I believe, which is good. Yes, there's a lot of sort of existing buildings in the game, but you can of course make whatever you want as well. And I'll show you a bit of sort of how you build your own scenery in a minute. Again, not very good at it. When you build your own scenery, it's pretty similar to sort of how Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 does it in terms of controls and how it works. But I'll show you that very soon. Oh, that's big. A little bit bigger than I thought. But if we put it on this pathway over here, hang on. It's quite a cool little building, though. I think actually. Ideally, we'd want to put like pathway underneath it. Actually, what we can do is if we go to somewhere that would have it flat rides, I think. Is that where you find? No, I'm looking for a concrete sort of pad thing. I guess you could just use a pathway, couldn't you? Oh, hang on. Don't do that. Properties, path. Oh, here we go. Pads. Yeah. So pads in the path menu are basically just like a piece of pathway, but it's just like a concrete slab. It's something you would put like a sort of a ride on or something like that, or you can use it as flooring, that kind of stuff. So if we rotate this and rotate it more or less in line with our sort of cafe here, and let's sort of scale it up. And you'll see when I scale it up as well, the texture doesn't stretch, which is really nice. So we sort of more or less get it in line there. Get underneath that. How about that? How's that? Let's have a look. That's looking pretty good. That looks much better. Got that under there. And now what you could do, make it look good. If we, no, I don't want path trees. I want to put my own trees in, which I find from this tree library. What about eucalyptus? That's quite a nice tree. Yeah, anything can be scaled, by the way, like anything. I didn't actually want it that big though. So you can scale like the burger shop. You can make everything giant if you want, or you can make you can make it like, I guess that's actually a really cool idea. I was just thought about this. You could make a whole like sort of Legoland kind of thing. So you'd make all your custom objects, and then you'd make then you sort of scale it all down. You have this tiny little Legoland. It'd be really cool actually. So the fact that this is a super like customizable thing, and I guess if you're not into super customization, then you might not be into this, but that remains to be seen. Again, holding down Alt sort of rotates everything, and you can turn on your grid if you want everything to. If you're really OCD and you want them on the grid, then you can do that. That's fine. If we get another little tree here, sort of just surround this with trees. If we go for, I want some shrubs. What kind of shrub is this? Oh, it's a nice little shrub. Yeah, it's all right. Get one of those in there. A couple of these in there. Make it look good. Excuse me. Come around the back. Oh, it's actually a pretty cool cafe though. I guess you could essentially more or less build this in the game yourself if you wanted, I think, but I don't know. I don't know how possible it would be at the moment anyways. I mean, I'm sure they'll add in more, because like I haven't even shown you yet, but the scenery build sets, I'll show you in a minute, and you can just construct your own scenery basically like that, so you do your own buildings and everything. So yeah, I might make this tree a bit bigger though. It's a bit small for my liking. One thing I think they could do is actually, that I just noticed, is that when you scale the tree up, the leaves don't scale up. So if you're watching this, developers of the game, that is a good little thing to probably look at. Maybe scale up the leaves, or maybe add more leaves in or something when it sort of scales up. Maybe not scale up the leaves, because if you scaled up the leaves, it would look ridiculous. But if you could somehow add more leaves in the scaling, that'd be really good, because then, oh god. Hang on, how do I get it back down? Go back down to size! No! I've got a monster tree. Oh, Jesus. Oh, gee. Yeah, I don't know. Because scaling up a tree is really handy, but when when you have like a giant tree, it gets a bit blank and a bit ugly, really. But not really an important thing, I guess, but feel free to look into it. Get a couple of these trees around. I don't know, I'm just placing trees. All right, we'll stop placing trees, because you've seen that, we've seen it. So that's how you sort of place objects along the pathways, and all the pre-built sort of shops and everything. What is this? High octane sign. Oh, look at that. That's nice. I'm not even kidding. That kind of sounded sarcastic, but it is quite nice. Ooh, water tower. How big is it? Not that big. Make it bigger. There we are. It's probably a little bit too big. I want to, hang on. Yeah, make it thinner and then make it bigger. That's a bit better. That's more water towery. Yes. Right. Anyways, okay, let's stop placing pre-built objects. Now, there's still so much to show you. Even though it just doesn't even have roller coasters yet, there's still so much to show you that I want to show you anyways. So at the moment, there are sort of flat rides in here. So if we open up like our carousel here or something, you'll notice that you can just place it anywhere, like anything. And again, you can hold down Control to snap on pathways, and it'll go beautifully on the pathway. But one thing I wanted to show you, we're not really going to place many rides, but you'll see that sort of, if you place it here, it kind of just goes into the terrain. But there's these 3 buttons up the top here. And if you do clear, it will sort of clear the terrain out, or not. Hang on. There it goes. And unfortunately, with this at the moment, because there is no undo, if you mess up, you messed up. So you want to be careful with this. But it appears to be yeah, okay. So what happens, or at least I don't know if it's supposed to happen like that, but you'll notice that once I place it, or when I'm placing it, it doesn't do the terrain. But it's when I click it afterwards, it will edit the terrain around it. So if we do this one here, clear, it sort of adjusts the terrain to fit it, whereas this one sort of just cut like this. It's clear and raise. So raise that up. This one didn't smooth out, just like, yep, that's good enough. Yeah, so when you're messing around with terrain and rise and all that, be careful because there's no undo just yet, and you can make a mess of everything. But anyways, so we'll leave those over there. Let's go down over here now, and we'll place at least one decent ride instead of those two. Let's get rid of those two actually. By the way, what we'll do, because none of this is bolted down, but what bolting does is it prevents you moving something by mistake. So if we select all of that and we click on our little bolt button up the top, it all goes red, and now we can't move it by mistake and accidentally ruin everything, which is good because there's no undo button, so you really do want to be cautious of that. And make sure you don't accidentally move everything. And I've done it before, and it's bloody annoying, and especially if you move something and you have these options enabled, and you go into a mountain, you're like, no! It's one of those things, because it's an alpha, it's one of those things. Alpha is gonna make you angry. That's what alphas do. That's what alphas do. But let's continue on. So if we have a look in our menu, close that, and we see custom scenery, this little menu pops out. It says build sets. Oh, it actually does say build set this time. It doesn't say what do the other stuff say when I open it up? Flat rides. It doesn't say flat rides like a few of the other things do. Okay, so you can do create a new custom object, and then you have the different build set. So if we go create a new object, actually I didn't really want to do that, to be honest, but build set 1. Again, these are kind of like all matching pieces that go in a set. And then build set 2, there's another set in here sort of matching items. And basically they're all pieces, kind of like you're, I guess, familiar with in Roller Coaster Tycoon. So if I just chuck that on the side, because it would actually be kind of handy to have all the items there so we can see them a little easier. Doesn't need to be quite that wide though. Let's make that a little bit smaller. All right, so let's build something. I don't know what I'm going to build, but what can we build? So we got Overhang Style 8. What does this do? Okay, so it's like a little porch kind of roof thing. Interesting. Roof corner, door, so many items. So there's a lot of stuff you could do. Hotel sign, sheriff sign, saloon sign. Nice. Train station support. Look at that. Damn, you could. I would love to see what people who actually know what they're doing could do with it. Let me go back up. I like build set 1 because it's easier. No. Oh, I mean architectural, sorry about that. Custom scenery, somewhere, that one. Build set 1. Yes, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Right, it's easier to sort of just whip something together quickly. Yes, so I'd like to create a new scenery. There we are. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're actually going to chuck back on our grid so we can sort of build this all together and actually in line with each other. So we're going to go that there. Little piece like that. And what else can we do? Actually, that was probably not a good idea. No, screw that. Get rid of that bit. Where are our wall pieces? Let's get some wall pieces. Here we are. Yes, I would like to create a new custom scenery. Let me move all these out of the way as well. They're like right in the way. Get rid of that window. Right. Now, holding down Alt, again, does your rotating. So, which way do I rotate them is the question, I guess. Is that right? That lines up nicely. We're just going to build a few little boxes. Like that. So a nice enclosed little box there. Let's grab out our turnstiles. There they are. That's fine. Yeah, we'll get a couple of these in. A couple of these bad boys. We'll go through 3. Yeah, why not? There you are. And then we're going to do another little room. Can you copy and paste? I don't actually know, to be honest. Hang on. I want to select these 4. No, I don't want to select those. Oh, I guess because it's one scenery item. Fair enough. Anyways, how do am I editing it now? I don't know. Jesus, I don't know. Oh no, now I'm editing it. Okay. Anyway, let's not try copying and pasting because I have no idea if you can do that. What is that button? I don't know. Like I said, not an expert, still learning, but I know enough to sort of make a video and show you it. This is by no means a tutorial, by the way. Not an expert. Right. Get that in there. A little bit of a niggle on that corner there. See, a bit of a niggle, but that's all right. Right, so let's do that. Let's also delete those two pieces actually, because oh, that's right. Yeah, these are actually multiple objects put in one, which is actually really cool because that means you can actually go ahead and change everything quite individually. So what if I do that? Yeah, there you go. You get like a blue kind of wall if you really want to do that. Is it that color? Please tell me it's that color. It wasn't, but I'm deleting it anyways. So yeah, you can change all the pieces sort of individually. There are a bunch of textures as well, I believe. So if I click on, hang on, let me go back into the build set. Oh, I've moved it all. Hang on, let me click on that. Oh, okay, that's what that button does. So that's like group it back together. That's edit it bit by bit. Okay, so we've learned something. Cool. Right, if I click on this, which I believe I've clicked on the brick. I found it before. No idea where I found it, because I can't remember. But you could change this, and they had like a whole window of textures that you could sort of play around with. Brick stone library. Oh, maybe it's this. So if I change that, does that change? Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. All right, awesome. Okay, so figured it out. Let's see. Excuse me. Ooh, get a bit of marble in there. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Not really, actually. That doesn't look that great. Oh, jeez. What have I done? This is what happens when you don't plan out what you're building. Yeah, I don't know what I'm building, but I think you get the idea of how the scenery builder works. It's pretty much how it is in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, more or less, but you can obviously do more with it. Can we just get rid of this thing? I don't want to look at this anymore. I just don't want to look at it anymore. Off you go, mate. Off you go. Off you trot. Okay. Hang on, let's put it back as one object. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. And it's loading. Oh, there we go. Right. Right, off you go. Okay. Cool. Close all that out. Right, let's forget about our horrible scenery. But yes, you can do scenery and do whatever you want. Was my point in that whole part just then. What else do I have to show you? We've done custom scenery. We haven't really done particle effects, but particle effects are just kind of things like fire and everything. So if we sort of zoom in, you can see a little flame kind of thing here. If you really wanted to use a thing. I believe they will be adding a particle editor, unless it already is in there, but I just have to place it first. So if I place that, can I? No, I don't think there's no particle editor yet, but they will be sort of doing that. Oh, can I not get rid of that? How do I select it? All right, well, we're going to have fire there now. That's going to be there. Right, so yes, pre-built parks, terraform, we've been through that environment, yes, we've done that. Architectural, we've done trees. Coasters is not enabled yet, unfortunately. Flat rise, we've sort of semi-looked at them. We kind of just plonked them down. Really, that's all you kind of do at the moment is just plonk them down and have a look at them. It is very much an alpha, like I was saying, so there's not much else they do at the moment. But you can, if you want, scale them up like everything else. So if we... Oh, hang on. I've just placed it on top of that. Oh, damn it. Let me grab that, delete it. There we are. All right, let's grab it out again. So you can scale it up and make it really flat and weird and rotate it and make it bigger and take up the entire park. That was one hell of a ride. But yes, you can scale it up, of course. What else do we have? We have lights. Oh, we haven't really looked at lights, but if we go preferably to a nighttime setting, so let's go into our sort of skybox thing. Let's go night. That one a bit darker. No, it's actually lighter. Let's go back to that one. Right, let's not fiddle around with light settings. Anyways, so fast render lights. What you got to know about these is when we put them in. Okay, so fast rendering lights are ones that don't sort of procedurally generate where they put light. So if I put it next to a building, you'll see that it just lights up anywhere. So if I put it inside of a building, it just lights up sort of vertically up and down. So it just lights up everything, which it can often look pretty cool. And it's a lot easier to sort of light things up that way. And then if we go for a non-fast render light, which there doesn't seem to be any, but we can make one. So if we grab one, One of these. We need something really, but hang on. What we can test it on actually is, if we go into architectural, number one, where is, here we go, the castle. That's the one. This is a good object to test it on because it's quite light. Oh yeah, there you go. See the light, well that's fire actually, but it's using fast render lighting, so you can see it sort of lights up the whole side of the castle there. Anyways, let's chuck the castle sort of, oh, I didn't want to scale it. I meant to hold down Alt, sorry about that. There we are. Let's just put the castle, I can put it at the end of this pathway. That seems to work. Sure, why not? And turn off grid actually. There, that'll do. Doesn't need to look great at the moment, but that's where it's going to go. Right, so now we can sort of demonstrate the lights a little bit better and what they do. So grab out the orange light and you'll see that it lights up the whole side of the castle. So it just lights up everything there. You can do it obviously the same with all the other lights. So purple, once it loads in, there it is. And you can actually make some really cool lighting effects, to be honest. So if we place like a couple of these in, it's actually it's a lot of fun to play around with the lights. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna light. So you can sort of mix the sort of lights together like this, and it can look really cool half of the time. So we get another one there, and let's go white. Do I want white? No, white's boring. Why don't I get a white light? That was stupid. Let's get the green one. Green Omni. Ooh. There it is. Get a bit of green in there. Nice. That's looking pretty good. Now, anyways, if we go into light settings, let's go around to a different side of the castle so we can sort of see what's going on here. Omni Fast is default. Omni HD is the one that's that actually lights up around it. So you'll see that almost like instantly the lighting changes. It doesn't light up the whole side of the castle now. So it lights up an area. I don't think green is the best light to use, to be honest. Let's just go back to white. So let's have a look here. So you can see it sort of lights up all that area there. It doesn't seem to be lighting up the actual terrain though. I'm not sure why that is. Let's move it up a little bit. Hang on. Stay up, damn you. I don't know why it's not lighting up the terrain. Maybe that one doesn't light up terrain. But anyways, so yeah, this one is more like a realistic light. It will only go a certain distance. It doesn't just go completely vertically up. So see, it's brighter down the bottom here and darker up the top. I guess we can look at it on the castle as well. But apparently it only seems to work when I put it inside. But anyways, you can see, you get the idea. It's lighting up at the bottom. And then you can obviously sort of adjust the light, make it much brighter. And enable on event. That's probably something more advanced. Offset. I guess that's just offsetting the light source from the actual point. But yeah, so you can do a lot of things with lights and make it look really cool. But I mean, the fast rendering lights are pretty cool in themselves, to be honest. I think that looks pretty sweet. Although, what happened to our green lights? I don't know. They seem to have died out. Yeah, so that's lights in the game. What else do we have? Custom scenery, we did that. Particles, we sort of did that. Water, I guess, there are a lot of water settings. If you're into that kind of thing, so you can obviously just disable water, enable it. You can adjust the height. So if we probably just type it in, it'll be a bit quicker. Look a bit higher than that. Let's flood our park. There we are. So now we've flooded our park. It's a bit unfortunate, but that's what happens. So we go back down to 30, I believe it was. Water speed, water scale, and sort of all that kind of stuff you can do. Surface fog. Ooh. If you do that, I didn't really do anything. Water fog. Green. Oh. Didn't do much. So we're going to have like a green water. Oh, actually kind of did. A little bit. But I can't tell if that's just because there's grass underneath it. I don't know. Anyways, lots of options there, as with everything else. Well, we did that. Actually, seeing as we mess up the terrain, I will show you how to fix it, even though I probably should have shown you that a while ago. We can use our smooth tool in terrain. Of course, clicking will do it. Holding down Alt will rotate it. Control and clicking will scale, so you can make it a bit smaller so you don't ruin the whole park, but you can just smooth that all out. Awesome, awesome. Smooth it all together. And of course, there are lots of sort of settings for your brushes and everything like that. As you can see in here, construction mode, you could do, what does absolute do? Oh, absolute would just say, okay, yeah, no. So absolute, what's going to do is, it'll create the sort of shape on the actual picture. So it's going to make the white parts as high as it can go and the black parts as low as it can go. At least I'm pretty sure that's what's going to do. Relative, I guess that's just, relative to where the land currently is. So just raise up a little bit there. And I believe if you hold down Shift, Shift is the one that inverts all the brushes. I don't think I actually mentioned that before, but so if you have like this little hill thing here, which is actually like kind of like a mountain kind of brush, so you could have like a small little mountain kind of thing there. You can actually hold down shift, sorry, and do a mountain going down. But obviously it's going to go in the water, so you can't really see it. We should do it up here, I guess. It'll probably look better. So you can have that going down. Probably would have been easier to look at it, but yes. So you can invert it and have an inverted one, which is pretty cool. So that's that. Why do we still have the materials open? Don't need that open. Close that. What else do we have up here that we haven't really looked at? Main toolbar is just that there. Bolt, that's our move to selected object. So if we have, say, that building there selected, we can just click that, jump over to it. There it is. That's all your general controls up there. Move, rotate, scale, snap to grid. Those are your terrain snapping options. All the kind of cool stuff. I guess something I haven't really shown, which is, I guess, just another little sort of feature to help you out. If you go build path, where do we go from? We go, oh, geez, I don't want to use that pathway. Let's go out the basic pathway. Oh, hang on. Where am I? Where am I? There it is. It seems to be wanting to go up. Hang on, let's just get rid of that real quick. Delete that. Yes, delete pathway. All right, let's just zoom in a little bit here. All right, basic pathway. And let's get this going here. So now what's going to happen with the pathway is it actually, you'll see it goes up our sort of terrain area there. And if we place it there, so it's got all these little sort of supports going on there. And I believe if we use that button there, yeah, so that these sort of terrain options apply to that as well, so you can have it going along the terrain. Obviously, you might want to make it a little bit smoother than that, but you get the idea I was going for there. So yeah, that's kind of like how the pathway can go on the terrain as well. But I think I've pretty much gone over everything that kind of is in the alpha at the moment, and I'll certainly do more videos of this as the time progresses and they add new features and that kind of stuff. But that kind of wraps it up for what there is now and what you can do. I mean, again, keep in mind I'm not an expert at this and I'm not the best. But if we'll go to a different pre-made park. Alrighty, so here's another park, another pre-made park, which I believe is coming with the release in a couple of days. I'm not sure. I don't know, but it's in the build that I have here. It's just another sort of pre-made park that sort of shows you what else you can do. So you got obviously all the little shops here. And we've got a different sort of path design here. So obviously they put a different texture onto the pathways, whereas we had just like the default sort of red brick. And you've obviously got all the benches around here. They've obviously figured out how to rotate them. Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to do that. Yeah, so these are all coming along here. So obviously they've placed along bins, benches, and lights all the way along the pathways using that really cool tool. And then in the center, it looks like they've got like sort of a giant concrete pad. That we were using one of the pads before underneath the cafe. And you can obviously get circular pads. So that's what they've done here. They've got like sort of a spiral pathway going up to the carousel, which is pretty sweet. Then down over here, we've got a few more rides, a few cool pathway designs, actually. I do like how it's all sort of curvy. It really does show you that you can do whatever you want, and it's not restricted to a grid like Roller Coaster Tycoon, which I guess is kind of expected that you can do anything in this. What is that? The treasure chest. Ooh, I want to go there. Looks good. Just a random little store there. Just before we jump into the grand finale, I have got a little bit of something planned for the grand finale that we'll see in a minute. I just wanted to show you something else that I kind of forgot to mention. It was when we were using the flat rides and sort of putting them inside of the hills and sort of cutting out the terrain. So we have something placed here and we go ahead and select it. If we have one of our terrain blending options selected, so if we click on clear and raise, for example, and we go ahead and use our move tool and we hold down shift to drag it up, you'll see that the terrain actually goes with it, which is actually really cool. So it sort of goes with it, automatically does it. And it's the same thing with the pathways, which I sort of kind of semi-showed off when we were building pathways as well. So if this gets fatter at the end, that's quite funny actually. If we put that pathway there, just a small one, and then we go ahead and use our clear and raise, and then we bring the pathway up, you'll notice all the terrain goes with it automatically, which I think is pretty damn awesome. I just wanted to show that and also point it out because, I mean, we kind of did look at it briefly, but I didn't actually mention it or point it out. So something that's really cool and actually really handy. Anyways, let's go for the grand finale now. Alrighty, here we are back in that sort of second pre-made park we've got here. I've just set it to nighttime. I made it nice and dark so we can see. Now, so I'm going to show you something that's pretty cool. And if we do it right now, let's get a nice little view, probably about, actually, let's go back a little bit. I want to be kind of, yeah, it's probably about good. Let's go there. And we do that. And then, oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Just a couple of fireworks just to finish it off. I think we should get a couple more if we go from another angle here. And one thing I will note about these, hang on, let me give it a second. Nope, not yet. Where is it? Come on, off you go. Hang on. There it is. These aren't actually going to be in the initial early access release because they are very, very much a work in progress. But it's just one of the things that are going to be available in the particle effects. Because at the moment, we've obviously got smoke, torch, fire. Fireworks is still a work in progress, and I believe there's going to be a whole like particle customizer in this game, so you can make your own sort of fireworks and everything. But yeah, so they won't be in the actual first early access. I think they'll be sort of down the line somewhere. Pretty soon, but that'd be pretty cool. So there will be fireworks in the game. I can confirm that, which is pretty damn cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you that to finish off. It's nighttime, of course. We can change it back to daytime, and we can have one final look at our park. Well, not my park, at a good park that someone has built. Let's go for it's a nice lighting there, isn't it? There you go. Look at that. That is very nice. I can't wait to see roller coasters in this. It's going to be sweet. It is going to be epic. And we'll probably revisit the game again when it has roller coasters in it. It's probably going to be, I don't know how long it's going to be until I do that, but should be pretty sweet nonetheless. I think in the next, like in the update after this release on the 27th, I think the second, or I guess the update after the release, they're going to do, they're going to add in the animations for the rides, because the ride animations are still work in progress as well. Again, this is all early access stuff, as you know, because I've been saying it so much. But I can't wait to see where this goes, and it'll be pretty sweet to check back next time. But anyways, thank you for watching this video on Theme Park Studio. Don't forget to comment down below if you have any sort of, I don't know, feedback, I guess, or that's what the comments are for. Anyways, yep, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and have a great day.